This week on the Powell Not Found podcast, the Yankees continue to unimpress defensively, and more importantly, Aaron Judge is being seen about his elbow, what that means, and also we talk about John Krasinski's new movie, The Fountain of Youth, on Apple TV Plus, coming up right here on the Powell Not Found podcast. Let's go.
I'm gonna tell you a story about a girl who loves gin. A national pandemic seized her birthday celebration. Although she knew it was coming, we tried not to tell her. She brewed some Irish breakfast tea. She knew her birthday was getting corona.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 70 of the Powell Not Found podcast, here with your host, Mark Powell, for the 70th time. We have a big show stacked up for you tonight, but before we get going, remember, everybody, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/PowellNotFound, and go to wherever podcasts are served to you and look for the show and rate and review the show. We know what we're talking about this week. In fact, I poured out a drink because of the way I was feeling this week, because I figured it was worth a toast. A toast was in order because we were losing a friend this week. We were losing the hope and the dream that the 2025 Yankee season was going to be different this year. That what we saw last year in the 2024 World Series was a blip on the radar, was something that was not going to burn us game in and game out. But officially today, mixed with the emotion of one of the topics we're going to talk about, Aaron Judge being out indefinitely, potentially. Nobody knows that. It hasn't been confirmed. I figured it was appropriate to pour out a drink and toast to what could have been a great one. What could have been an amazing one. So cheers. It tastes so bitter. It tastes so bitter to see a season being blown apart due to bad fundamentals on the baseball field. But we'll get to that. We will get back to how unimpressive the Yankees have been defensively and and how they're addressing that. But we have bigger news in the sport and on our team. There's so much to talk about. I mean, I've been gone for about 2 weeks, right? Missed the show last week, took a week off, and my goodness, thank God I did, because I don't know if I'd be able to do this week in and week out, talking about the same things, the same issues, and responding to the same lackluster press conferences every week. This morning, Aaron Judge was not in the lineup for today's game against the Phillies. It's his second time that he has not been in the lineup. And when Aaron Judge is not in the lineup, there's two things that are happening. Usually I'm going to that game and I pick luck out of the draw. I pick that game to always go to. I always reference that because a couple years ago I went to an Orioles game where the Yankees were playing and Judge was having his routine off day, which is just insulting to do to anybody that's going to see a game. When you're going to see the Yankees, you're going to see Judge, right? That is, the Yankees and Judge are synonymous. So when they rest him, man, does that piss you off as a fan. But he was not in the lineup for rest. He was getting his elbow looked at for potential injury. And we've talked about this ad nauseum on this show. Part of being a baseball podcast and part of being a podcast that talks about the Yankees and talks about MLB and the different ins and outs, you're going to talk about injury. And whenever elbow injury, forearm tightness comes into the conversation, boy, oh boy, does everyone hold on to their butts. because usually that does not lead to good things. Very rarely do we get a situation like the Cole situation from 2024 where he's going to be out for a couple months, but he'll be back and ready to go. And we all know how that one turned out. So Judge was out of the lineup because he was having a little bit of trouble throwing balls into the infield from the outfield. And man, does this kind of reek of what Jason Dominguez was going through last year or a couple years ago when he got hurt at the end of the season in his, actual rookie season when he got called up in September and had that amazing September and then immediately got hurt. And it was against the Jays that we first saw the first indication of something being the matter with Judge. Now, Judge winces and kind of closes his eyes every single time he has a play or a bad swing. So it's not uncommon to see Judge kind of make a weird face. But in this particular case, off the bat of it was in the bottom of the seventh off of Weaver facing Alejandro Kirk of the horrendous Toronto Blue Jays series that the Yankees made us all suffer to watch through. There was a hot shot to the corner. Judge fields it. And let's just take a look at that play. This is courtesy of ESPN here. Let's see if I can get the sound up. And let's take a look at this play.
Fly ball right field. On the run is Judge, and he makes the play.
Makes the catch, sorry.
Tagging and going to third is Bichette. So Kirk gave it a ride. Nice play by Judge into the corner.
Nice play by Judge going back. Grimacing in pain there. I don't know what's going on. Gripping his right hand. Something's going on there.
John Flaherty all over the call there that something was happening with Aaron Judge here on this throwback to the infield. So they decide to kind of DH Judge the next day for the opener. The next day. And he was playing in the first game of the Phillies in right field and kind of lobbing balls in when the Yankees got trounced. And all of a sudden, the Yankees are on alert. Today, it was reported that the Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge is dealing with a right elbow, quote, issue, according to manager Aaron Boone, and isn't in the team's lineup Saturday against the Phillies for just the second time this season. This is an ESPN article by Jorge Castillo. Judge underwent testing on the elbow Saturday morning after experiencing discomfort throwing the baseball in Friday night's loss for the second time this week. Boone said Judge was slated to see head team physician Christopher Ahmad, a leading Tommy John surgeon, at Yankee Stadium on Saturday. Oh boy. The Yankees had just come off the heels of trading for a desperate hole in their lineup and their defensive alignment in trading for Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. Hence why I'm wearing the Rockies hat, right? The Rockies are 26 and 76. They're like 50 games below 500. They are out of it, and the Yankees acquired Ryan McMahon for a bag of balls, right? They did not give up much, any prospects of note, in order to fix something that they desperately needed, which was defense on the left side of the infield. And so spirits were high. When I say that there's no way to fill in the hole that Aaron Judge, the impact that Aaron Judge brings to the New York Yankees lineup, he's irreplaceable. He is the best hitter in baseball. Don't give me Shohei. Don't give me Soto. He is the best hitter in baseball. And you're not going to find what he brings to the lineup on an everyday basis on the market this year, next year, or the year after that. It's just not going to happen. What concerns me about this is that if we're going to go down the route of speculation and say that this is the thing, and they have not, as far as I know, I'm trying to monitor Twitter here as we keep on doing this. As far as we know, Judge, it has not been confirmed that he needs Tommy John surgery. I don't think that they would do it after a game this quickly anyways. Here we go. Boone, 12 minutes ago, Boone announced that Judge has a flexor strain. No tear to the UCL, will need to be on the IL and to DH when he initially returns. That is great. Great news. Also, according to Chris Kirshner, Aaron Boone said Giancarlo Stanton will start getting outfield reps to see if it might be an option for him. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that's a good thing, right? We're still going to talk about what's happening here. The UCL is intact per Aaron Boone. In other words, the Yankees avoided the worst, right? Boy, oh boy, that's a dodged bullet. That is a dodged bullet. That the Yankees just went through. He is going to go on the IL, which is not going to be easy. Boone says he thinks, this is according to Brendan Cutie, Boone says he thinks that Aaron Judge has a chance to be back at the end of the 10-day IL stint, but DHing first. Still not great for the team. And still everything that I said kind of applies here. That Aaron Judge is hard to replace in this lineup. You look at the lineup that they put out today, what was missing? The threat. Giancarlo Stanton is doing a really good job hitting singles the other way. But, getting on base. Jazz has been hot as of late, but there's too much swing and miss on this team and not enough consistency that Judge brings. That him being out of the lineup, even for any significant time, during a time when the Yankees are really in desperate need to turn things around, is still not good. Losing him for up to a year or a year and a half would be even worse. And then you will begin to have those conversations of why is this roster structured this way, that if the big bopper goes down, there's no one else on this team. So Yankees dodged a bullet there. So doing this in live time, that's never really happened, where I've had to kind of reshape my thoughts about this. Concerning, right? This morning I was listening to a reel from John Boy Media, and Jimmy O'Brien basically said, this is not the first position player that's had UCL issues or elbow issues and stuff like that in the past. What are they doing that is giving them this kind of are making these players so injury prone is the question that I want to know. I mean, I know they take a lot of reps in the outfield. This is a long grind of a season, but didn't the Yankees just revamp their health and sustainment and their health and conditioning coaches just a couple years ago? This was supposed to get better. Year after year, the Yankees have gone down with injury after injury, and it just seems like no player is safe from the injury bug that keeps on going through the Yankees clubhouse. Wow, that's really good. I mean, that's really, really fantastic that we've dodged that bullet. So a flexor strain, no tear to the IL, about 10 days on the IL. And still, it's going to be interesting. This is going to really, it's 10 days. You wonder if this is going to make Cashman a little bit more active on the trade deadline to go make some bigger moves to fill in the gap. These last 10 days are critical. We saw how quickly that a 7-game lead in the AL vanished with bad play. And now your best hitter and your most consistent hitter and the biggest boon to the offense is now going to be unavailable. Outfield reps for Stanton, that seems like If I were to guess, if they're starting to go in that direction, that means they are desperate. May this be the opportunity to bring up Spencer Jones? This seems like a very clear avenue. The man has 7,000 home runs right now in AAA. I believe that a couple of them are still in the atmosphere somewhere. Yes, he has swing and miss in his game, but newsflash, so does everyone else in the Yankees lineup. So why not, instead of pushing out Giancarlo Stanton, who, by the way, is hitting like a champion, who's hitting so consistently, why screw that up by putting him in the outfield? Just call up Jones. He's ready. Unless he's going to be part of a huge trade deal that's going to bring a lot of people over, this is the avenue to play him. This is it. 10 days, give him some major league reps. Let's see if that hot bat translates from AA, AAA to the major leagues. Give me a center fielder. Give me a pale imitation of Judge with another 6'7" lefty. Will they do it? No. Most of the media has been crying that the Yankees now are too lefty after the acquisition of Ryan McMahon, but I don't see them doing it. I still feel like the Yankees overcook their prospects. They overhype them a lot of the time, but that is being quickly negated by data being available to everybody. But they kind of leave them in the minors for so long. I mean, look at Judge. I mean, Judge is a classic example. 24 years old before he came up. 25, and he's mashing, and he's the best hitter in baseball. Could he have started doing that earlier? Is the question. With Judge being down now, with an IL stint, I would hate to see tomorrow when I wake up that they've recalled Vivas to the minors. The man just got on the train to Scranton. He can't get another ticket back. Let's not do that to a guy. Bring up Jones. Give him the avenue. Give the Yankees any kind of boost. You gave him a boost with Ryan McMahon. The defense on the left side of the infield, we saw it today with a great play by Ryan McMahon to save a double down the line and get the out. We saw the flashes of the good leather that everyone in Colorado was talking about. That is such a big improvement. Now, the Yankees still got shellacked, and the Yankees still committed an error. Jazz Chisholm still bobbled the ball and didn't make a tailor-made double play. The defense is still a problem. But if you have the opportunity to showcase someone and actually see what they've got, then I don't know why you wouldn't take this avenue unless you're saving him for a trade for someone of proven talent. Because the kid is 24 years old. He's not getting any younger. So, well, flexor strain for Judge quickly changing. Let's talk a little bit about the acquisition. So, this roller coaster of emotion, you just saw a difference in how quick it can be for Yankee fans going, oh my gosh, the worst is happening, and now we're out of the woods, right? And how quickly it can develop here. This is according to Jeff Passan. The flexor mass is a bundle of muscles in the forearm that connects to the elbow and serves as a brake to take stress and strain off the UCL. Flexor injuries often precede those to UCL, but they can be healed with rest. Time on the injured list varies and depends on the severity of the strain. He was re-quoting a Jorge Castillo quote of Aaron Judge has a flexor strain and his UCL is intact. Aaron Boone said he's going on the injured list, but the Yankees should avoid the worst. So, yeah, it's I guess it's not as it's good news. It can be healed with rest and time, But I guess if these players are running into these injuries and constantly overuse of the elbow, you got to start looking at some of the pain points of maybe the conditioning of these players are not great. Maybe the it's hard to pinpoint and take blame. I mean, the Yankees are one of these organizations that really value rest. They will give free time, and they will give a day off to players that seemingly have the hottest bat in the world. We just saw on Foul Territory the other day, Clint Frazier say something about the Yankees department, the analytics department don't believe in hot, right? We've seen this time and time again with people taking time off. People have gone 3 for 3. Jason Dominguez got really, really hot one time, went 3 for 3 or 4 for 4. Next day he was off. They value rest. And they value giving guys a beat. And it's still popping up. It's still rearing the ugly head. But anyways, it's just it's completely, it's something that's just going to take time for me to get my mind around about what is happening. Why does this continue to be such a problem for the Yankees? Surely this is a problem for other teams as well, but it just seems like every year the injury bug gets bigger and influences the season more than you would want it to. So let's move on a little bit to the Ryan McMahon trade. So Ryan McMahon, Cashman executed a trade basically after the firestorm of the Toronto Blue Jays series. Now, the Yankees have lost 2 straight series. This one today, they lost the first 2 games to the Phillies. They've been outscored 21-9. Their pitching from Warren and Stroman have been just not great. And Toronto, they lost the series to Toronto as well. They lost 2 out of 3, I believe. So, lost the rubber game to Toronto. And they defensively looked like the bad news Bears. I tweeted it on the show account that the Yankees were the bad news Bears. They were playing like one. I mean, you could go around the diamond in the Toronto series, and there would be errors that you could recount from every position, with the exception of a few. Judge, Bellinger, and maybe Grisham. The left field of the left side of the infield was pretty atrocious. I mean, Oswald Peraza has been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down in this organization. So you feel bad for him, especially when he starts getting those questions that are levied at him about, like, are you disappointed with the way your career has gone? Well, the Yankees didn't give him exactly a great, stable playing field for a long time. But he's throwing balls away. Volpe, balls are just eating up Volpe. And his offense is coming back slowly. Today, he didn't have a bad game at going 2 for 4. But the defense, even in the top of the 9th of today's game, the Phillies game today, he bobbled one, recovered, and threw the guy out at first. But still is having a hard time cleanly fielding baseballs and throwing the baseball, hitting people in the chest. Volpe throwing one hoppers as he ranges to his left to Ben Rice at first. Not going to do it. Now, I tried to kind of look at old stats from the past, right? And compared and what Volpe's error. Volpe has 13 errors on the season, I believe, 13 or 14. And I just kind of compared him to Derek Jeter when he was coming up. Now, Derek Jeter in his first couple seasons had a lot of errors, right? He needed to kind of clean it up, and he did to an extent. People still call him, in retrospect, not a great defensive shortstop. You could argue that that's a little bit intense, but Derek Jeter if we ignore the 1995 season where he played 15 games, right? Had 2 errors in 15 games. His rookie season is 1996. He finishes that season with 22 errors. Let me actually push this to the main screen here. He finishes, and this is what we're looking at. 22 errors 1996, 18 errors in 1997, and then cleans it up in his 4th season in 1998, 9 errors. 2000, this is the year where the Yankees win the World Series. Derek Jeter's got 24 errors on the year, right? And then from there, 15, 14, 14, 13, 15, 15, 18. So 2000 and his rookie year were the only times he was over 20 errors in his career. Volpe probably heading for like a 19 error season, 18, 19 error season at the rate that we're going. We only have 59 games left, right? So it kind of tracks a little bit with the age. So some of the hype against Volpe being defensively a little bit shaky, it is only his 3rd season, right? So if you compare him to the greatest shortstop of all time in Derek Jeter, he's kind of right on track, right? There's still a lot of time. So when we start seeing these moments where Boone is blowing up at the media and specifically, taking questions from John Boy and all that stuff about, the defense and, wanting to protect it, you start kind of historically looking at these numbers and going, well, this doesn't mean just because it's his 3rd season doesn't mean it won't get better, right? Now, if it consistently starts hitting 20 errors, 21 errors, 22 errors a season, I think you got to do something about it. But when Boone said, and I first didn't believe it, when Boone said he was like maybe 3 errors above where he should be, I was like, no, I feel like I see him make plays that are just consistently not there. But the stats don't lie, right? He is kind of right on track for some of these early numbers if you compare him to even Derek Jeter, right? The difference is, now these guys had Derek had 24 errors in 2000 and 22 in 1996. The difference was Derek Jeter was hitting people in the chest, right? The amount of throws that I've seen that don't even make it to first base, the amount of instinct that I haven't seen from Volpe, where he doesn't eat the ball or he throws it away. And this is not just really with Volpe. I mean, it happens with the whole team. Jazz committed an error the other night where he just floated a ball to the first baseman and got away, gave away another bag. Most of these guys in the past, they were trying to hit the chest. They were trying to not one hop it across the diamond. The weak arm, in combination with the amount of errors, in combination with a lackluster offense, is what's creating this cocktail of negativity surrounding this player. No one believes, I should rephrase, no one believes that Anthony Volpe can't clean up his play. Also, Volpe knows that he's not making these plays. I don't think that he's not aware of how he's playing on the diamond. But in a season where every win counts, in a season where we've seen a 7-game lead evaporate, and now we're sitting 5.5, 6 games fully behind the Blue Jays if they win tonight. Let me see what the standings are here. 6 games, a season high 6 games. You want these things addressed as a fan. And you want to make sure that the management knows that if we see it, then they're definitely seeing it. And there's no obligation, but you do want them to address that they're going to clean up. And they've been doing a better job in press conferences as of late, saying that this is a problem. And how do we know that they've addressed it? Because Brian Cashman went out and made a trade for Ryan McMahon. Now, the Colorado Rockies are a terrible ball team. They are really bad, sitting almost 50 games below 500. The Rockies decided to deal Ryan McMahon, their third baseman, in exchange for minor league pitchers Griffin Herring and Josh Groves, the team announced. I want to repeat, the Yankees acquired Ryan McMahon for Griffin Herring and Josh Groves, two single-A pitchers. Now, I've never heard of these people, and I'm not one to say that I'm very versed in the minor leagues right now, but that's a good thing. The Yankees didn't have to trade off the major league roster to make this trade happen. They got a really good defensive third baseman, something that they desperately needed. They couldn't keep on shipping out Oswald Peraza. And in a media landscape where everybody was screaming about you can't make 4 errors a game, they came back and they acquired a third baseman who was an all-star last year and a third baseman that has only recorded a season-high 17 errors in the 2022 season. Hey, man, that's pretty good because you're sitting next to a shortstop that's already that's already committed 13. And there's 59 games to go. He's a very good defensive third baseman. The offense, like people have been saying, the offense is up and down. He is a lifetime 240 hitter. He has a 323 OPB on base percentage, 420 slugging, and he's hitting for a 743 OPS and has an OPS plus of 92. Looking at the Yankees lineup, they needed it. Too much of the bottom of the lineup was too inconsistent. Ryan McMahon lodges his first AL hit today and first hit as a Yankee. And I believe he went maybe 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Am I right about today's game? Let me see. Let's see here. Let's bring up the box. Oh, man, these numbers are tough to watch. But in his debut, he goes 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and 1 walk. I'm sorry. So he does have swing and miss in his game, but that's the thing. I mean, listen, we haven't had a really good defensive third baseman since Gio Urshela. DJ LeMahieu did a formidable job, but we needed to improve. Hopefully, this is not the end of their acquisitions. The Yankees need to desperately fix their bullpen. They need another starting pitcher. I think they still have not addressed the fact that Clark Schmidt has gone down. We're really seeing, Max Fried had a blister. He has not been the same pitcher since that blister has happened. And, Will Warren, as much as I think the Yankees want him to succeed, we need a better alternative from Will Warren and Marcus Stroman. They're just not getting the job done. So Cashman earlier said it was third baseman, relief pitcher, starting pitcher. So hopefully more to come. I really hope they don't deal Ben Rice. Ben Rice to me is the catcher. Austin Wells, his bat has not shown up, and I don't know if it will ever come at this rate. But I like the versatility that Rice brings. And something that this team is going to need is versatility going forward, especially with Judge being on the injured list. It's, and if he's expected to be a DH upon his return, then they're going to need that versatility here. Let me see if I can find the press conference here for I can't find it. Anyway, they're going to need versatility in the lineup. So hopefully none of these trade deals are dealing him away, even though he might look attractive to some teams, especially with his ability to play first base and be a catcher, be a DH. He's done a lot of different roles for the Yankees. To me, he's too valuable to give up. He's proven. He's a proven bat. And I think there's other chips you can kind of give away that would hurt less in trades for the Yankees. So with that, let's go ahead and wrap up the Yankee talk for today. We're going to take a quick break. And when we get back, we will talk a little bit more about Fountain of Youth, the new new Apple TV Plus movie starring John Krasinski. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I'm gonna tell you a story about a girl who loves gin. A national pandemic seized her birthday celebration. Although she knew it was coming, we tried not to tell her. She brewed some Irish breakfast. Did she knew her birthday was getting corona? It was like those Hallmark movies that she liked to watch. Once a passive viewer, now she's part of the plot. But there's no contagion or disease that'll stop us from singing today. One too many lonely days till we can see you again. She tries to shake it off. She's losing track of the days. So she's been dancing to the music blaring from the Renegade. And in the morning she lays with her memories departed of heavy college weeks, bookended with long trips to Busch Gardens. It was like those.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the show. We do not have the usual cover slate on the break, so if you did, I put on the regular music as opposed to the break music. So hopefully that was kind of good as we transition into movie talk here for the second half of the show. Let me just remind everybody, go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/PowellNotFound, and go ahead and hit subscribe to that channel. Hit the bell if you very much would like to do so. And remember to review and rate the show on anywhere that podcasts are served. So Apple Podcast, YouTube Podcast, or iHeartRadio, you know, all the ones that have podcasts. They should be up there. If not, go to Apple Podcasts and you can find it. So with that, I want to transition to a movie that has been out for a while. Have not had the opportunity to see Superman yet, or Fantastic Four, which are, again, I feel like it's just a lot of superhero movie glut. So if you're not in the mood for that, check out Fountain of Youth, directed by Guy Ritchie and starring John Krasinski as a treasure hunting adventurer. Man, how do you describe this movie? Well, let's put it this way. If you've watched National Treasure, starring Nicolas Cage, that successful franchise of, you know, there's secrets everywhere that the old founding fathers of America have basically put anywhere, then you're going to kind of love this movie, because this movie is another attempt at rebooting that formula into modern audiences using people that we kind of recognize. It stars John Krasinski. It is stars Natalie Portman as a brother-sister duo that the sister is trying to desperately get away from her father's legacy as a treasure hunter, and her brother, played by John Krasinski, Luke, is following in his father's footsteps, trying to prove that his father's life was not in vain, that he was that his work was valuable. They've also have another character in here who basically is the reason, the impetus to basically go down this kind of Nathan Drake-like, Uncharted, like Indiana Jones-like arc of trying to seek for treasure, because the financier of the mission is dying, and they're trying to find the fabled Fountain of Youth, which the movie is named after. This movie is goofy. It is really, let's put it this way. There's a lot of movies where I feel like you need to pay attention and you need to really be involved in the plot. And if you miss something, if you go up for a popcorn break, if you decide that, hey, I need to go to the restroom or something like that, I assure you, you will be able to leave at any moment of this film and still be right on track with the movie. You, the viewer, could probably write this movie. There are a bunch of baddies motivated by God knows what, that they want to find it, probably for just sheer monetization, that are after Luke, after John Krasinski's main character, and he kind of drags his sister reluctantly, her sister and her son, reluctantly into the adventure. It's a very, very, very light watch. It's directed by Guy Ritchie, who Guy Ritchie is the director of the old Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes films. So if you're familiar with that movie and how fast-paced it is, it just kind of goes beat from beat to beat to beat. John Krasinski plays a character that is like Jim on steroids from The Office. He is just goofy a little bit too much of this movie. It seems like a movie that was really fun to make, but nothing that's going to knock your socks off. Some of the character transformations in this movie as well, because this movie is full of double crossings and people not really sure what side they're fighting for at times, are a little bit underdeveloped, and they leave a lot more to the imagination. They don't necessarily pay them off very well. And so you find yourself going, well, I trusted this person, and now they have a totally different personality. And I couldn't tell whether that was because of editing or because that's how they wanted to write it, or if they found themselves in a corner and decided, you know what, we're just going to go with it. You know that there's going to be a double crossing in some of these movies. That's just the way that these things go. The set pieces are terrific. They're very, very good. It reminds me of if National Treasure decided to be updated and the CGI that's possible now was incorporated back then. This is probably what it would look like. There's a very, very impressive sea piece in the very, very beginning where they go to bring up part of the Lusitania, and they're kind of on a ship, and it goes down, and it really feels like it's a Disney theme park ride when you're watching it. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's goofy, and it has comedy kind of written into it in a very, very goofy way that's unexpected in these films. And you start wondering where that influence is probably coming from, whether it's coming from John Krasinski, who seems like kind of a goofball himself in a good way, or whether the writers behind the movie kind of always intended it to kind of be this kind of goofy Sherlock Holmesy like plot. There are some leaps in this film. And again, because it set itself up as such a goofy romp of an adventure, they're acceptable. And so when I say this movie is okay and leaves a lot to, I think I wanted more from this movie than I think I got. Do I think there's going to be a sequel to The Fountain of Youth? No. Do I think it's a visual piece that stands out in ways like that The Mummy stood out back in 1999? Yeah, that's where this movie kind of lands for me. So if you have nothing to watch on a Saturday night, give it a go. It's not the best movie in the world. It's from Skydance Entertainment, so take that for what you want right now. It doesn't necessarily, it came out about a couple months ago, so way before the all the Skydance stuff that's been going on in the news now with the CBS merger, but it is a Skydance production. And I don't think necessarily we'll be seeing a sequel anytime soon to this movie. But it is fun. It is kind of fun to poke fun at, too. It's one of those movies where I feel like, at the end, whoever you're watching with, you're kind of going, wait a minute, why did this person turn bad so quickly? Hey, what Why is there a huge gunfight in the middle of the pyramids? Like, where did this come from? It's a globe-trotting movie that doesn't have to make sense, but it is still fun to watch. So visually, it's a good movie, but nothing to write home about. So again, that's Fountain of Youth. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the show. Again, we will be back next week as the trade deadline approaches here on the 31st. We will probably be back on early to see if there's any bigger trades that are being made. I really do think that the Yankees are probably made their biggest splash already early, like they did with Jazz Chisholm last year. So hopefully if they make a bigger splash, we'll try to come on a little bit earlier next week and get it out of the way as the trade deadline goes on. And we'll talk about that as it comes. So again, this has been the Powell Not Found podcast. My name is Mark Powell, and we're signing off for the week. Everybody have a great week. Bye-bye.
But there's no contagion or disease. Those stop us from sinking to